And throwing sports are having a moment in BC. Richmond's Cameron Rogers took home the gold in women's hammer throw this week at the World Athletic Championships, as did Nanaimo-born Ethan Katzberg in the men's event. But those aren't the only athletes dominating the sport. At the 55-plus BC Games in Nanaimo last weekend, members of the Lower Mainland's Ultra Throw Club swept the podium. We're talking multiple golds, silvers, and bronze medals. And some of that dream team joins us now. David Ulis is the vice president of Ultra Throw and a gold medalist at the 55-plus BC Games. And Shawn Stevens is a coach and youth director with Ultra Throw. Thank you both for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, Shawn, I'm going to go to you first. Throwing sports obviously in the spotlight, which you must love. But briefly, perhaps for the uninitiated, what are the throwing sport events? Just explain those to us.
Throwing sports are really a group of events that combine speed, skill, and strength. Maybe a bit more than other events like jumps and sprints and distance. There's something for everybody. You know, we have from the tallest to the smallest. We have events from javelin, hammer throw, as you've seen in the Olympics, discus throw, shot put. We also have heavyweight throws, including superweight and ultraweight throws. So, you know, we see success in any size of student, youth, any ability. There's always areas to improve. So it's really a sport for everybody. There's something for everyone.
And David, walk us through Ultra Throw's showing at this year's 55-plus BC Games.
I believe in the events that Ultra Throw's competitors were in, we won 24 out of 27 medals. So we were at the top in just about all of the events, from javelin to hammer to shot put to weight throw. The group works pretty hard. We train at Langley Field, and the masters groups work very hard at their events and enjoy the events very much.
David, I suspect you're being a little bit modest. How did you do at this year's games?
Every competitor believes that they could have done better than what they did. And you always have to remember there's somebody better than you out there. You're going to find them sometime.
Fair.
Anyway.
You got 2 golds in javelin throw, did you not?
I had a very good javelin throw. I've been the national champion in javelin a number of times and competed in BC and Washington and internationally.
Wonderful.
I also won gold in the discus. That's my other best event, and threw over 30 meters. And at my age, anytime you get over 30 meters, even if you're just walking, you feel pretty good. So it was good fun.
I'm glad you had fun. And if there's a better place to toot your own horn than the morning show, you know what? I think you just got to take the opportunity. Shawn, Shawn, you're obviously at the other end of the spectrum. You coach youth throw sports. How does a kid get started in the throwing sports? I don't know if either of my kids ever said, hey, I want to throw a hammer or the javelin.
Yeah, good question. Even with our Olympic champions, you'll see that it's really a grassroots effort to get the kids in at an earlier age, the better. But really, you can join at any age. I was a late bloomer myself. You know, Ethan started in elementary school with his family. His dad helped coach him. Cameron started in elementary school in Richmond with the local club there. And so really, we're hoping to, obviously, as a club, introduce the sport more to people. But what we're finding is introducing it in the schools is probably the best starting point for the sport. I think it's seen a bit of a downtick over the years. It's not introduced in the schools as much, whether it's equipment, you know, needs, etc. So we'd like to see that improve a lot more. And now with the Olympic effect with Ethan and Cameron, I think we're seeing a bit more of that start to happen.
And do you hear at all from kids about why they want to try these sports?
You know, some of them are excited. They've seen, you know, Ethan and Cameron performing. It's a wonderful sport in that it really challenges you individually. You know, it's wonderful to be a part of a team sport, but children just love to come out and experience the challenge of testing themselves. So it's really about, seeing what your limits are and how you can improve over time. And under a low pressure situation, we tend to promote a real open environment for the kids to do their best and try everything.
And obviously, seeing these more high profile athletes winning, that will have, I would think, sort of a positive effect on young kids wanting to try this.
Absolutely, and you'll notice with both Ethan and Cameron, they're the most approachable, friendly
Yeah.
people, champions you'd ever want to meet,
Yeah.
and we know them personally. They host camps here in the province, and they're just wonderful. So to the kids to see what how nice they are,
Hmm.
it really helps ease their stress or fears and helps bring them to the sport.
Yeah, just incredible role models. They're just they just are so lovely. David, I'm curious what your journey was to becoming a master thrower.
Uh, I threw shot put and discus in high school. That was the only events they had back in the old days. Um, but when I was in my early 60s, I actually went to the BC Games to play pickleball and discovered they also had track and field, and was introduced to one of the top track clubs, the Greyhounds, another great club in the lower mainland,
Hmm.
great runners. Um, and ended up thinking, well, this might be fun to do. And I joined the club, and that's 14 years later or something.
Yeah.
They introduced me to things like the javelin, which it turns out I'm good at for some strange reason. Um, anyway, I had a great time. I mean, the other thing is, although it's competitive, you're trying to win. You're not competing so much against the individuals that are in the competition with you.
Mm.
Everybody is very supportive of each other because we know where we're at. We know we're master's degrees. We're all trying to do as well as we can, and try to help each other be as good as they can, because um, that's the way it should be. That makes it fun for the seniors.
Yeah, it sounds like just a really supportive and inclusive group. David, what would you say to people that maybe haven't tried the throwing sports, but are kind of itching and wondering if they're really good at the javelin too?
You come out to one of our practices. You take you pick up each of the weights. You give them a feel. You see what it's like. You see whether you enjoy being with that group. Um, the worst case scenario is you have a good day out with a bunch of interesting people. The people that are throwers have done all sorts of different things in their life, and we have a great time sitting around waiting our turn, uh, telling stories.
I don't know. Maybe I got to get out there. Maybe the javelin is what I was born to do. I'm always trying to find the sport that I'm inclined to. I have not yet found it. Shawn, what would you say to a parent that is trying to maybe convince their child to get into this arena?
Definitely that it's a safe place for their children, and we generally invite the parents along with them, whether it's to observe or to participate themselves. We have many parents who actually end up throwing as well. In fact, a lot of us who've gotten into the sport are coming through our own children who have participated. So it's a real great group of people and very supportive. And the sky's the limit, as you can see.
I love that. The family that throws together stays together. It was wonderful to speak with both of you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
David Ulis is the Vice President of Ultra Throw and a gold medalist at the 55 Plus BC Games. And Shawn Stevens is a coach with Ultra Throw.